So joining us today for our very first Clash Cast interview is my good friend MoneyMalone. I have played with him on the same server and I trust his number crunching analytics to a fault. So Money, thank you so much for joining us today. So why don't you go ahead and start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and what brings you to our table today?
Hey guys, my name is Money Malone. I'm on Kingdom 1865 with Willbender. We're part of the English group on there. One of the very few. We have a lot of Chinese, we have a lot of Turkish. We're all good friends. We participate in the Kingdom versus Kingdom. But I am here to talk to you about Yulia and all of her research benefits. She's one of the newest heroes, along with a lot of the civilization heroes, but she is the research hero that comes into play. She also got a new kit added, a new set of equipment specifically for her. We'll kind of divulge into that a little bit. What I'm going to talk about is the percentages versus the hourly benefits of when you should have one of each. So you could have hourly, you could have percentage, when it's best, and which equipment I use to make the most benefit out of Yulia.
So I know you're going to be discussing your analysis on which gear has the highest yielding percentage off of the time for research. And I know that that's key for you, the difference between getting the percentage of time decrease rather than just flat hours. Can you explain that a little bit for us?
All right, well, the real question is what is your castle level? What are you trying to get done? In many cases, when you're early on and your research is not taking beyond 3 days, a lot of the flat hours are going to benefit you more. The reason of this being is when you're just getting into research and you're able to pick up that first or second piece and you're able to throw it on because you're a new player or you're just trying to get started really quick, the hourly is going to benefit you more. But once you start to get into the dragon research, once you start to get into rally assault, you have massacre, you have things like advanced first aid, commander, maximizing march size. You're looking at 3 days as like a base time for your research or beyond. So in many cases, like rally assault with no benefits, you're looking at about 120 days, but with the percentage of reduction, you're able to bring that down by about 40 days, whereas the flat hourly at any given time, no matter how much hourly you have from these set pieces, it will not equal that amount.
Well, that is definitely good to know. With that being said, why don't you go ahead and give us your analysis on the best gear that Yulia could possibly wear?
All right, so what we have here, what I'm using on my Yulia is a four-piece Mersey set mixed in with pants level 25 and a ring that is level 15, both purple. Now, what you can do is you can make them orange, you can make them gold. I'm only using purple so that it's easy access, everybody can understand it. Each level 25 purple piece can give up to 7.34% science research. Now, understand, chess pieces do not give research bonuses unless you have a piece of another set. So, what I'm using here, the Mercy weapon, the Mercy chess piece, and the Mercy boots do not give science research bonuses. The helmet, on the other hand, gives a 13% science research percent speed. So, what we have total is the 25% bonus from the four piece Mercy set plus the helmet being 13%. You have 38% science research boost. Now, if every piece, these four pieces, gave you the level 25 benefit of the science research, it would give a total of 29.36%. Although, what you're doing is you're changing the 29.34% and exchanging it for a 38%. It's a better bonus overall. Chess pieces, because they usually don't give science research, they usually won't give you the 7.34% anyway, and helmets do not give research as well. You may find one or two or another piece, but the way that we're doing this, because her max level is 25, we're going to use the Mercy 4 set. So you have 38%. Then what we have is pants at level 25, which do give the 7.34%. And then the ring gives you 5.18% twice. It's level 15 ring. It's better than the level 25 because it's giving you a total of 10.36%. So, with this, I am going to be using this set on Yulia because it is the best, with the exception of the gold and the orange pieces for the pants and the ring.
So the new Yulia Alchemy Bachelor Hero has a new set. Can you tell us more about this?
So, this was recently released. I have not had too much time to interpret it, but what I see is a lot of flat hourly reductions for research. Now you're looking at a total of 48 hours because every piece gives you 8 hours reduction. Now maybe the helmet and the chest piece would be good on your lord because many cases you do not have helmets and chest pieces that give you reduction for any research. But I think that what we're going to be looking at here is the benefit from this force set piece, the decrease of the CD of Alchemy Bachelor's skills. Now, the new cooldown would be 2 days, 2 hours, and 36 minutes after you take off that 30%, because you have a 3 day cooldown, which is 72 hours. 30% of the reduction is 21.6 hours, leaving your cooldown at 50.4 hours, which does come to the 2 days, 2 hours, and 36 minutes. We're also looking at a lot of reduction. Wood reduction is 6%. Food reduction is 6%. Iron reduction is 3%. Mithril reduction 3%. Maybe these would be useful. I don't know how I feel about them because the hero does give you free resources anyway from her skill. A lot of times this won't be useful, but what is useful is the research stone production. Now what we're looking at is a total of research stone hourly 180 per hour if you have the full set. Each piece gives you 30 increase. Now what I think is that this will be multiplied by 2 because we have 2 workshops producing research stones. So we're looking at once you get the 2 piece, after a 50% bonus from the 2 piece, from the set provides a flat 45 increase to the hourly, multiplied by 2 because you have 2 workshops. We're looking at 90 research per hour of the stones, totaling 540 research stones per hour from every piece on the set. Now, one thing you'll have to consider is somebody using this in the castle will have to have 2 heroes on their research in order to make this work. So you'll have to bring in Bernard, you'll have to bring in somebody else to help with the research in order to access these additional bonuses.
So I'll ask a question: what other normal armor besides sets would you recommend for the hero that you'll need besides Yulia?
Well, that's a good question. Something that's very important for everybody to know is in the programming for the game, there's an extreme reduction on whoever you put in that second slot. So I wouldn't use a set on whoever you choose to be in the second slot for the research area, the hero position. Um, you'll probably just go with research percent, or if you do use another set, it's going to be reduced by 70%. You have to remember that whenever you put a hero into the second slot, it's always going to be 30% of whatever you put on that hero. For example, if you have 10 hours of reduction on Bernard and you put him in the hero slot, you're only benefiting from 3 hours. So whoever you do put in that slot is going to be reduced by a large amount. So you won't want to invest too much into that second hero. And assuming that with all the benefits that Yulia does provide with the 38% research boost along with the pants and the ring and the flat hours that you're going to benefit from her skill tree, which is 5 hours, and the additional reductions of like research stones, you may want her in the first slot. If you find an alternative to where you have a level 40 hero and he's decked out and level 40 equipment, gold that's research boosts, and you can make it work, then maybe have Yulia in the second slot. But to benefit purely from Yulia for a lot of the lower players that don't have a lot of time to get the gold equipment to have a level 40 hero that's able to be used in the second slot that isn't one of the level 25 heroes from the civilization that isn't already working on combat, then yeah, I think that to answer your question, what equipment to use on it, just flat research. Whoever's in that second slot, flat research speed percent, not hourly, because you're only going to benefit from 30% of whatever is on the hero.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea for all players from new and old to focus on with pertaining to research. So that's some good points you got there.
So I know you haven't had enough time to really analyze the new set that just hit the market yesterday, but given all the research that you've done and the limited exposure that you have had to the new set, in a perfect world, which one of these do you think you would choose and why?
Well, honestly, my opinion is that the wood reduction, food, iron, myth reduction, the only things that you're going to make use of from that section of the whole reduction is maybe the mithril and iron. Unless you already have gotten all the stars, then those are completely useless. So that's something on the set that I disagree with. The research stone hourly increase is going to be phenomenal if you don't already have a lot of income from the workshops coming in. I myself have a high level for both of my workshops, and research stones are not an issue. So in my case, I would stick to the set I've already made because the flat hours that are being reduced from the set do not outweigh the percentage for myself.
Well, Money Malone, thank you so much for providing all of this excellent research that you've done for us. It's been a real pleasure having you on.
Jake, Wilbender, thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure. I'm glad I could bring this information to a lot of players, and I'll see you on the battlefield.